And good evening and welcome to Patriot Weekly. Doug Amos along with Pike Road head coach Granger Shook coming to you once again from the lobby at the Brantley Bank here in Pike Road. We want to thank Brantley Bank. They're a big part of your broadcast, coach.
Yes, Ray Kaiser and his crew do a great job supporting Pike Road and Pike Road football specifically. So
you got a hamburger at Customer Appreciation.
Hamburger and a hot dog. Ray does a great job.
There you go. Was he grilling? Was he the main grilling? I love it. Hey, a big game for the Patriots last week, a region win over Wetumpka. And I don't know about you, I just sensed that was going to be a battle with what happened last year. You went to their place and took care of them pretty good. I had a feeling you were going to get their best shot. You and I talked last week about how hard we knew Bear Woods' team would play, and they literally played really hard, and it was a tough game.
They did. Coach Woods does a great job of getting his boys prepared, and their defense is going to be a really good defense. They've much improved from last year, and they'll continue to improve. Offensively, they were a little banged up, but our region's very physical, and so we were able to make some plays on defense. I know Julius is here. Juju had two big picks on Friday that helped steal some possessions and create great momentum going into late in the game. And Gavin is here as well. He helped anchor down our defensive line effort and helped limit them on offense. And so those two guys were key to our success last week.
It's a 17-12 win. We will visit with Julius Lane and Gavin Rogers a little bit later on in the program. But break it down for us. How did the game play out? I know we talked after the game on our scoreboard show, and a few of your players joined us. Did it play out about like you thought it would, or what were you pleased with? What were you not pleased with?
Well, I thought it couldn't have started any better. I thought our kickoff return unit, Powo, had a great return, returned it all the way to about the 15-yard line. We as an offense kind of sputtered at the beginning. I think we missed a play here or there, but anyway, we were able to get 3 points out of it. And then our defense did a really good job in the first quarter of handling them up front. They were able to adjust on the sideline in the second quarter, and they were able to get in the end zone, and we were down for a little part of the second quarter, but we battled back on offense, had a big play. Kaysen hit Jordan Holmes for a big touchdown pass, something that we've been looking for as an offense, a deep threat. And so I think we're evolving as an offense each and every week. And so Jamichael had about 100 and some odd yards rushing again this week. Our offensive line did a good job of paving the way for him. We still had too many issues, too many self-inflicted wounds, too many penalties. And that's something that, we've addressed this week. That's something we'll continue to address. It is what it is, but, we were able to overcome those, and, we were able to find a way to win. And again, any win, especially against a region opponent, they're all big. And so we were happy to get that. There are definitely some areas of improvement that we've been focusing on, and hopefully we'll see that. Hopefully our fans will see that this Friday night.
It was your first home game
Yes.
After 3 road games. What was it like being at home, being there where the locals could come out? Even I think Ray made it out.
Absolutely. So. No, it was great. We were able, those home games, you have a little more time after school lets out. Boys can get off their feet a little bit. We had Taylor Road Baptist Church help sponsor our pregame meal. They did a great job. Had a terrific message for our boys, and I thought leading up to the game, I thought our fans did a great job. Our band was loud. Our student section was really loud. I thought our fans helped our boys, especially late in the game. And so it was a great environment for our guys to play in front of. And, I look forward to hopefully another great environment this week.
This week, of course, and we'll talk a lot about it, Percy Julian from Montgomery comes to your place to play.
Yep.
It's another region game.
Right.
Then you have an off week against region foes. You play Opelika also at home. Then you've got homecoming with Park Crossing back into the region. So you're off to a 2-0 start. in the region with the win over Rehoboth, and then Wetumpka. Where do you think this is? You won the region last year.
Right.
You're off to a good start to do it again.
We are. You know, I haven't talked to the team about this yet, but this time last year, you know, Percy Julian, you know, kind of snuck up on Carver, you know, and probably shouldn't have. You know, Carver was more talented. They were, you know, they had a really good team, and but midway through the year, they may have overlooked them. I don't know what happened, but Percy hit them in the mouth, you know. And so anyway, Percy, you know, they are a physical team. They're fast, they're long, they're athletic. They have big boys up front, you know. But I think our boys have had some good days of practice this week, and you know, it's something that, you know, we're going to make sure that we have to lock in and focus and have great attention to detail Friday night.
I know next week we'll have a much deeper conversation about it, but we talked about Opelika being on the schedule, and it's not a region game, yet it's a really, really tough game.
It is.
Mid-season, talk
Yep.
about the mentality of getting them on the schedule between region games.
Well, yeah, I mean, Opelika was one of those things where, you know, Brian Moore and I have known each other for a long time. You know, he was the OC at Opelika when I was at Prattville, you know, as the DC, and we've known each other. He's a phenomenal coach. He's a great man. He since, you know, moved off and got his, you know, spot at Eufaula, and then again at Hartselle, and has come back and got the Opelika job. And man, they're playing really well. They're playing really well, and so it's going to be a great test for us. It's going to be a great game for us to see where we are.
Kind of a measuring
yes,
stick game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great environment. They're going to bring all of Opelika's going to come, and it's going to be similar to our, you know, Spanish Fort environment, our Benjamin Russell, Saraland environment. Is, you know, and I hope our boys understand that, you know, it may not be a region opponent, but it'll be huge for us building momentum into late in the season.
As you get into midweek of practice prior to Percy Julian, what are the specific things that you're wanting to see at practice as you get ready for Friday night?
Well, offensively, we've really been working on fine-tuning our personnel, you know what I mean, making sure that our guys are where they need to be in certain situations as far as certain personnel packages, you know, and making sure that we transition on and off the field faster. We didn't play as fast as we're capable of, you know, against Wetumpka. Some of that's on them. Wetumpka did a great job. They had a great plan, but some of that's on us. You know, we get a good play on first down. You know, it's 2nd and 2 where we have Holden, and now it's back to 1st and 18. You know what I mean? And so a lot of that's on us. So again, we've been focusing on, you know, trying to be more disciplined, trying to make sure that we understand that we have to do our job. We can't try to do somebody else's job and our job. That never works out well. You know, us men can't multitask.
That's right.
You know, we can't. So we just got to focus in and do what we're supposed to do. Defensively, we have got to do a better job of eliminating the big plays. You know, their first touchdown was on a long run. We had a few missed tackles. You know, again, that's a good running back, but we were able to, you know, pin him in and contain him late in the game. But, you know, he was able to get a couple of touchdowns early. So, you know, tackling is always a must on defense, and then special teams, we got to continue to do a better job on kickoff. You know, our coverage unit, we have, you know, worked on that all week, but we will continue to improve on all phases.
Coach, you know, last year it has somewhat, this year is somewhat mirrored last year. You had 2 tough games
Right.
at the beginning. You then won 11 in a row. We mentioned this last week. If you had to compare this team to last through 4 games, what are some similarities that you're seeing? Because 2 tough losses
Right.
to start this year, and
Yep.
then 2 region wins as we head into week 5.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, you know, the first opponent we played, they're still undefeated. You know, the second opponent we played, they're 3-1, lost to a really good Auburn team. You know, so those are really good quality opponents. You know, I think our boys have learned a lot from each other and with each other. I do think there's a lot of similarities. You know, offensively, you know, we may feel like we're behind the 8 ball a little bit, but you know, I've looked up our points per game right now. We're at 26. Last year at this time we're at 27. You know, defensively we're giving up about the same amount of points per game as well. I think there's like a 2 or 3 point differential there. I think the biggest thing is probably our special teams unit right now. We got to improve in special teams each and every day, and we got to mesh a little better on both sides of the ball.
As we transition in to visit with Juju and Gavin, obviously defense played a key role in the win Friday night. You don't win without getting really solid play on defense.
Absolutely. We were able to win the line of scrimmage more times than not. Gavin had a lot to do with that, taking on double teams and splitting the double teams and demanding those most of the nights, which freed up a lot of other guys. Juju, of course, his 2 interceptions helped take momentum. We had a big goal line stand. They had a long play. We tackled them inside the 5-yard line and held them out four plays in a row, and that really kind of took the wind out of their sails. And we were able to capitalize on that and kind of keep momentum in our favor. And so again, just proud of how our boys found a way, and couldn't be more proud of these 2 here.
When Patriot Weekly continues, we'll welcome in Julius Lane with those 2 picks he had against Wetumpka. Great to have you along, everybody, from the Brantley Bank here in Pike Road. It's Patriot Weekly. Welcome back to Patriot Weekly, and there must be something pretty special about getting a big interception, because it changes momentum in the game and you get that extra possession. And Julius Lane, they call him Juju, did it twice Friday night against Wetumpka. Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Talk a little bit about it. What was the night like? Last year you go over there and it's a lot easier than it was Friday night. The defense had to really pick it up.
Yes, sir. Last year, I got hurt, so I didn't play against Wetumpka, so that's another chip on my shoulder leading into the game.
Sure.
Those 2 picks, I want to start out by saying I couldn't do it without my team. Defensive line, getting pressure up, forcing the QB to throw the ball.
That does, when Granger was talking about the 2 picks, I was thinking about sometimes it's because the quarterback's rushed a little bit.
Yes, sir. So that's what happened. I went up, tracked the ball, made a good play, and got a couple yards leading into the game. Feel like that gave the offense some momentum leading back at the end of the second quarter.
Talk Juju about what a win like that gets you when you have to gut one out, when you have to dig deep and stop them on the goal line or make big picks. It didn't come easy, but that makes a team grow when you have to work hard for it.
Right. I'm glad that we have a lot of competition at the beginning of the schedule, because that can help us deeply in the playoffs. So yeah.
So we mentioned it earlier about the Prattville and Enterprise games.
Yes, sir.
Playing a class up, you're learning that hey, these guys are really good, but you're gauging yourself. Now you're 2-0 in the region. You've got another region game this week against Percy Julian. A win here, and you're halfway through the regular season. You're undefeated in the region. And then you got, as Coach called it, a measuring stick game against a really good Opelika team.
Yes, sir.
Where do you think this team is as we head into week 5?
I feel like we're on the right track. Coach Shook comes out each and every day, pushes us, holds us to a high standard. Like each and every year that he has been at Pike Road, like last year was his first year, he came in with the mentality to, hold us to a high standard. So when a team comes out at practice, we are competitive, help each other grow. Iron sharpens iron, so yeah.
This is the second time you and I have spoken on Patriot Weekly. Is this team better today than it was that day?
Most definitely.
Talk about the ways. Is it a maturity thing? Is it a coming together as a group thing? Is it people getting more comfortable in their roles thing? Give me some reasons why you think this team's
people
improved.
just growing, those 2 losses, like I said at the beginning of the season, it really, laid a chip on each and everybody's shoulders. So everybody just comes out each and every day, pushes each other as a teammate, help us grow. And even like in the weight room, like we push each other and like we're competitive, like trying to see who lift the more weight, who get bigger, faster, and stronger. So like as a team, as the whole team grows, like it's hard to stop that team.
You can hear Coach Granger Shook talking to me in the last segment. He mentioned Percy Julian and them pulling the rug out from under Carver last year, which was a better team, a team that was really highly thought of. So regardless of their record right now, good and well that you're going to get their best Friday night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One thing I can say about Percy Julian, they always been one of those top teams. You know, being in Montgomery, very competitive. I played with some of those.
Yeah, you know some of
kids
those guys.
in Little League, and man, they just want to win. So
It's going to be fun.
them, you know, playing Pike Road for the very first year, I think they're gonna try their best shot.
What about the atmosphere last Friday night at your first home game
Yes,
of
sir.
your senior year? Talk about what it was like at Pike Road against Wetumpka.
Man, it was crazy. You know, student section, it wasn't even like that last year. So to see the student section and everybody going crazy, like, it was wild. But us as football players, like Coach Shook always tell us, don't worry about the fans, nobody. Just focus on the game, because at the end of the day, the fans going to be fans. So just got to do our job.
Well, and apparently they did their job. The coach said that they certainly inspired the team, and another home game tonight. It's your second of 4 in a row, because then you got Opelika and Park Crossing. That's homecoming. Man, I'm happy for you, man. 2 picks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Grab another one Friday night. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. That's Juju Lane, one of the big defenders for this Pike Road defense. When we get back, we'll talk to a literally big defender for Pike Road's defense. He's Gavin Rogers from the defensive line. We're at Patriot Weekly here at Brantley Bank. Back with more right after this. Welcome back to Patriot Weekly, everybody. Coming to you from the beautiful lobby of Brantley Bank, big sponsor here of Patriot Weekly. And note to self, when you shake Gavin's hand, be ready. He's going to crush it. He just crushed my hand as we shook. I like the handshake, though, pal. Always shake hands like that. You'll learn a lot of fans along the way. Big win for Pike Road Friday night over Wetumpka. Not only is that a region game, but it's a river region rivalry type game. Talk about up-front play. What was happening that you were pleased with at the point of attack?
Wetumpka up front, they're fast, they're strong, but Friday night we were just the better front that night. We prepared better, we're faster, we're stronger, we just dominated.
So Juju was just talking about how y'all encourage each other in the weight room.
Yes, sir.
And that's where you get to be bigger and faster and stronger. Talk about the off-season spent in the weight room and how you think this team up front at the point of attack has improved.
The weight room is a very big part of getting better in the off season. And when we do go in the weight room, we execute good. It's a lot of good energy in there. Just love to each other, competing, friendly competition.
And that's part of it, isn't it? If you feel like it's a chore, you're not going to get as much out of it. If you go in there with a competitive spirit, then you get something out of it every time you go in.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about Friday night. Wetumpka, you guys had to get a big stop after a long run. I was watching the whatever you call that, the stream of it, and you know, it seemed like I was doing the show, our scoreboard show. Seems like they had more tries than 4. They must have just had 4, but you guys stood up and made it happen. I mean, that's a game-changing series, Gavin. Talk about what you guys were saying in the huddle and to each other, realizing that you got to stop these guys from inside the 5-yard line.
Yes, sir. After getting up a big run, we had to come together as a group, keep our heads up, watch the play behind us. It's in the past, with the ball on our necks, and play football.
3 solos, 2 assists for you Friday night against Wetumpka. Do y'all have a little competition with the defensive linemen?
Yes, sir,
Talk
definitely.
about it. You're smiling a little bit. I want to hear about what goes on between you guys as y'all are checking each other's stats after the game.
After the game, as soon as we go in the locker room, we ask each other, how many think you had tonight? How many think you had tonight? How many sacks you had? It's sort of this family competition.
That's good, right? I mean, you guys are smiling about it, I'm sure. But hey, if you're making a big play for the team and you're getting ahead in the personal race to things, and that's a double whammy, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about this week, Percy Julian. You heard Juju talk about, he knows a lot of these guys. He knows how competitive they are, how athletic they are. No letdown for this Pike Road team. You got another big region opponent in front of you.
Yes, sir. If we aren't consistently locked in, reading our keys, doing our jobs, they're definitely going to put up a good game against us.
Now, where do you think this team is compared to where it was, say, late August? You've played 4 games now. You lost to the 2 class up teams in Prattville and Enterprise. You've now beaten Rehoboth and you've beaten Wetumpka. Where do you think this team is on an improvement scale?
I think we're on the right track. We just have to stay on the right track and like do our jobs, like stack good practice days, like days on days. We can't have any bad practices.
And Friday night, you tell me, big crowd there again. Juju talked about the importance and the great atmosphere. I know you recognized it. You need them back out again this Friday, right?
Yes, sir. The crowd is a big part of the football game. The crowd was loud, band was loud. It was just a great atmosphere.
Especially when you play 3 on the road, right? You get to come home for the first time. Gavin, go get them Friday night, buddy.
Thank you.
Great seeing you. Gavin, right there's that handshake again. Great to have Gavin and Juju with us on Patriot Weekly as the Patriots get ready for a visit from Percy Julian. We'll wrap it up with Granger Shook in our final segment. You're watching Patriot Weekly here from Brantley Bank. All right, welcome back to Patriot Weekly, rejoined by Granger Shook. You ever shaked the hand of Gavin Rogers before?
I have, and I don't do it often.
Well, teach all your young men to shake hands like that.
Yes.
Very, very impressive. I'll be heading to the orthopedic right after the show. Big game tomorrow night, Coach. Friday night.
Yes.
Another region game, a chance to go 3-0.
Right.
If you don't lose a region game, you can't lose the region.
That's right.
So that sounds simplistic, but I was talking to another high school coach last week, and you're already starting to see teams think about you want to get that home game in the postseason, and we're way away from that now. But that game tomorrow night can impact it as much as any game you play. If you win it, a positive impact. If your club doesn't find a way, then that's a negative.
Absolutely, and I talked to the guys all summer long, and leading into week 1, how especially the senior class that guys, the season's going to fly by. We ask you to do a lot, you do a lot, and I'm very proud of everything you do. But just understand when those days get long, and you're tired and it's hot, you're going to wake up one morning. It's going to be week 5. You're going to wake up again. It's going to be senior night. It's going to fly by, and you know what? They're going to wake up on Friday, and it's going to be week 5.
It's hard to believe it's week 5 already, Coach. It really is. Yeah. You're about to play your 3rd region game. It's played out like you hoped it would play out. Your team continues to improve. What are you going to be looking for Friday night? You know about Percy Julian.
Yep.
You've seen some film. What are the keys to your team having success?
Well, I think the most important thing that I want to stress to our young men is penalties, and not shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak, and just to continue to drive home that we are our own worst enemy, on that field, on Friday night. And Percy brings so many possible issues. They're, like I said before, they're going to have 2 of the biggest D linemen that we'll see all year. They can run, they can hit. They are very good players. Their quarterback is a big play threat. Their running back's a really good player. They got a wide out who is long and can high point the ball. And so they present a lot of issues. We don't need to help them. And so I think we've gotten our point across this week. I know our boys are being intentional at practice of trying to focus and execute with precision, as we've been talking about this week. So again, I'm enjoying coaching these young men. They are pleasers. They want to do what we ask them to do, and that always makes it for a fun year.
Have you been pleased with the balance offensively of your team? Is that something that you need to keep seeing improvement with as you begin to start getting deeper into region play and start seeing the playoffs down the road?
Yeah, I was proud of how we've, dished the ball out. I think Casey's doing a good job. Again, 2 weeks ago, eight guys touched the ball, eight different guys. This past week, it was about 6. I would like to keep it closer to about 8 or 9, just to help break tendencies or to keep tendencies from being there, and so, but I do like where offense is headed. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. But, you know, it starts with those big guys up front. It starts with their leadership, and then hopefully that leadership will, you know, spread across the whole unit. But again, I like where our group's going. I'm excited about where we'll be, not only on Friday night, but for weeks to come.
7 o'clock is the kick, Pike Road and Percy Julian. It's at the Pike Road Football Complex. Again, go fan. You can get your ticket ahead, or you can pay at the door or at the gate. I'm sure still the Quarterback Club has a lot of great stuff on sale to help support your football program.
Absolutely. And all those proceeds, again, through the Quarterback Club, go straight to those young men. And again, sold a lot of gear on Friday night.
I love it.
That was awesome. You know,
it's always good when you got to reorder the gear before the end of the year.
Even with the threat of inclement weather, Friday night it shouldn't be that way. I expect a bigger crowd.
It'll be in the low 70s when we're raring to go. But
it'll be a nice fall football weather.
Well, I look forward to visiting with you on the scoreboard show after.
Thank you, Doug.
It's great seeing you. Good luck to the Patriots.
Thank you.
For Granger Shook and for Juju Lane and Gavin Rogers, Doug Amos saying so long from our great friends at the Brantley Bank. You've been watching Patriot Weekly.